In this lesson, let's talk about roles and demand for blockchain professionals. It's important to note first that a lot of the demand for blockchain is really dependent on where you're located, from my experience. And if you're in cities such as Toronto or Boston, New York, DC, even San Jose, Singapore, these could be cities that have pretty good demand for blockchain professionals. On the other hand, you may run into a remote role, but some of the roles that are typically common in the world of blockchain would be a blockchain architect, a developer, a trainer, an operator, and a manager. Each of these roles has some similarities sometimes in the sense that if you're let's say, a cloud developer or an application developer, again, a developer is going to do what? They're going to go ahead and assemble, build applications effectively. Same thing with the other roles. Now, when it comes to some other roles that may not be blockchain specific, however, will require some knowledge, which is actually pretty common. If you go to LinkedIn, for example, you'll see a lot of the roles sometimes, especially with VARs, vendors, and large global enterprises, such as basically international banks or corporations such as Walmart or Amazon, etc. They'll have a little note in the job description saying blockchain is required or would be nice to have. And this could be anything from a software engineer, a developer, an architect, etc. And it could be any role for that matter. I've even seen roles where a lot of sales professionals, not even technical, but sales professionals, needed to have an idea of what blockchain is. So this is something that's common. I would say most of the roles that have blockchain in the description are basically just that. They want someone with knowledge. That doesn't mean you'll be working full time doing blockchain or anything. Now, some other roles that you may need to have blockchain knowledge could be anything from the CIO to the IT manager. Pretty routine now that corporate counsel needs to be educated on blockchain because of all the compliance and liability issues that could come into play. IT sales execs, this is really true if you work for a VAR or a vendor, for example, an integrator, pre-sales engineers as well. When it comes to the market itself, again, as I had reiterated, a lot of the demand seems to be still concentrated. Because of that, your luck finding a role in different cities may be very different. You may be very knowledgeable, but don't get discouraged if it takes you longer than perhaps if you're in a different city. This is just something that is going to occur in a lot of cases. And for that matter, I ran into it before. Now, LinkedIn did name blockchain as the #1 hard skill for 2020. We shall see what's listed for 2021. But with that said, I just wanted to point out that there is demand for developers, for architects, etc. A lot of it's concentrated. And I didn't talk about salaries because the salaries, could be all over the map. It depends on where you're located, what language. Typically, Ethereum developers seem to get paid a little bit more than Hyperledger and Corda developers for whatever reason, at least from the numbers I have seen. A typical developer can command anywhere from 150K to 250K to 30K maybe, depending on, again, what organization you work for. Typically, the larger companies like vendors like Amazon or stores like Walmart that have multiple patterns, IBM is another one, they're going to pay pretty well. Now, with that said, that's all that I had for this lesson. Let's move on to the next lesson.